Okay, so maybe you've heard some world music before.
Yeah.
You know, maybe even caught yourself humming a Bollywood tune or two.
Right, right.
But today,
Yeah.
we're going beyond those catchy melodies.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to explore how music can actually be a doorway to understanding another culture,
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to put it.
like a point of entry.
I like it.
So we're taking a deep dive today into this
Okay.
Srabani Academy of Culture.
It's the Srabani Academy of Culture, yeah.
It's this virtual school,
It is.
and it's teaching Indian music and culture
Yeah.
to students everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere.
Yeah, it's incredible.
From Lisbon to Kyoto.
I mean, you name it.
It's amazing.
They're probably there.
What I find so interesting about this whole thing is it's not just about like learning the notes, right?
Right.
It's
not just technical.
it's the stories behind the music.
Exactly.
It's the history.
The emotion.
It's the emotions woven into each melody.
Yeah, I mean, you think about music in any culture. Yeah.
Right, it always tells a story.
It does.
And this academy is doing an incredible job of bringing those stories to life
It really is.
for people all over the world.
And it's amazing to see how much this resonates with people from,
Yeah,
all different walks of life.
absolutely.
Take Clara, for instance.
Oh, yeah. Claire's story is amazing.
She's a software engineer in Lisbon,
Yeah.
and she's learning Rabindra Sangeet.
So Rabindra Sangeet, those are songs by Rabindranath Tagore,
Right.
this Bengali polymath who won the Nobel Prize in Literature.
Wow.
So we're talking about a serious figure in Indian culture.
So these songs are deep.
Very deep, very profound.
And she's in Lisbon. She's a soccer engineer, and
Right.
she's connecting with this.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it really is.
Well, and here's the thing.
okay.
Before every virtual lesson,
Yeah.
she lights a daya.
Oh, wow.
You know what daya is, right?
Yeah, that's a traditional oil lamp,
Right.
a beautiful symbol.
It's like she's setting the stage,
Yeah. She's creating a sacred space for learning.
Absolutely.
And she even said that during her lessons, she feels transported to Kolkata.
Wow.
Like she's right there where Tagore lived.
Right, where he drew his inspiration.
It's incredible.
That's the power of music, right? It can transport you across time and space.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all had those moments where
Yeah.
a song takes you back to a certain time or place.
Exactly.
And Clara is experiencing that in a really profound way.
Yeah, and it brings the whole experience to life, doesn't it?
It does.
You're her teacher, Guru Sravani Samadar.
Oh, she's incredible.
She's amazing.
An amazing teacher.
Doesn't just focus on the technical.
Right. She weaves in these incredible stories about the monsoon rains that inspired Tagore, the rhythm of boatmen on the Hooghly River.
So the music isn't just
It's not just notes on a page.
notes on a page.
It's a portal to another world.
Exactly.
And Guru Sravani Samadar, she really embodies this blend of tradition and technology.
That's what I was going to say.
On the one hand,
Yeah.
she has 25 years of rigorous training
Wow.
in classical Indian music.
But she's also a tech enthusiast.
She is.
She designs apps to help her students learn.
She's bridging the gap between centuries.
That's what it is. It's like,
Think about it.
Yeah.
Ancient ragas.
yeah.
Inspiring modern film scores.
And now she's using apps and even VR to teach.
Wow.
But at the core,
Yeah,
it's still rooted in that classical tradition.
absolutely.
It makes you wonder, though, is this unique to Indian music? Or can we see this in other
That's a great question.
traditions around the world?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question.
Like this combination of ancient and modern.
Yeah, how tradition can adapt and thrive in the digital age without losing its essence.
Right, because it's not losing its essence.
Exactly.
It's still there.
It's still at the core.
Right. And speaking of adaptation,
Okay.
it's amazing to see how the Academy encourages students to find their own voice
Within this tradition.
within this tradition.
Yeah.
Take the guitarist in Toronto
Okay.
who's blending Bhairavi raga.
So a raga,
Yeah.
it's like a melodic framework in Indian classical music.
Right. With blues music.
Blues music, wow.
Or the pianist in soul,
Okay.
composing jazz pieces inspired by Tagore's work.
Wow, that's amazing.
Incredible.
They're not just mimicking or copying.
Right.
They're creating something new while honoring the original spirit.
It's true.
It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, what do you think this says about the nature of cultural exchange
Yeah.
in the come first century?
Right, like is this fusion
Yeah, this fusion.
becoming a new norm?
It's really fascinating to think about.
Yeah, it is.
And it really is fascinating to think about how technology
Right.
is breaking down these barriers
Yeah.
and allowing for this kind of creative exploration.
Exactly.
And speaking of connection,
Okay.
get this, they also host these virtual gatherings
Oh, wow.
called baithaks.
Baithaks. Yeah.
Have you heard of these?
Yeah. So traditionally, a baithak is like a salon, right?
Okay.
It's an intimate gathering for
Right.
music,
Yeah.
poetry conversation.
Okay.
But the Srabani Academy has taken this concept online.
Wow.
And they've created this space for students from all over the world
It's amazing.
to connect and share their music.
Yeah, imagine this.
Okay.
You have a teenager in Texas
Okay.
singing a thumri,
A thumri. Yeah.
which is this beautiful,
It's a semi-classical vocal style from North India.
right, alongside a grandmother in Kyoto
Wow.
sharing a Bengali folk tune.
It's incredible.
It's like this global exchange
Yeah.
happening right in our living room.
Right. In our living rooms. Yeah.
It's really
I
incredible.
mean, it really challenges those traditional notions
Right.
of community and learning. I mean, in the past,
Yeah,
you would have had to physically travel to India
I know.
to experience this kind of musical immersion.
Right.
But now
Because of technology.
the classroom has become boundless.
It really has.
Yeah.
And what I find so inspiring about Guru Sravani Samadar
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
she's not just focused on
Yeah.
creating these technically proficient performers.
Right.
She has this amazing quote.
Oh, yeah. I love this quote.
My dream isn't to create performers.
Right.
It's to create listeners.
Mm-hmm.
People who understand the silence between the notes,
Wow.
the stories behind the scales.
That's so profound.
It really is.
It really speaks to a deeper level of engagement with the music.
Yeah.
It goes beyond just the technical aspects of performance.
Yeah, like you were saying.
Exactly.
But she's saying true understanding comes from
Yeah.
deep listening,
Deep listening.
appreciating those nuances,
The nuances, yeah.
and the context in which the music was created.
Exactly, yeah.
It makes you realize that learning music can be so much more
Yeah.
than just hitting the right notes.
How much more?
It's
Yeah.
about developing an ear for those
the
subtleties,
subtlety.
the emotions,
The emotion.
the history embedded in each phrase.
Absolutely.
I mean, do you think this idea of listening could apply to
Oh, absolutely.
other art forms as well?
Think about visual art, for example.
Okay.
You look at a painting,
Yeah.
you can appreciate its technical mastery.
Right.
But true appreciation comes from understanding the historical context,
The history behind.
the artist's intentions,
Yeah.
the emotions they were trying to convey. It's the same with literature,
Oh, yeah.
dance,
Yeah.
any art form.
It all comes back to listening.
The more we listen,
Yeah.
the more we understand.
That's true.
Yeah.
And what's so remarkable about Srabani Academy is they've created this space
They have.
where people can actually cultivate
Yeah.
that deep listening,
Deep listening.
that cultural understanding,
Yeah.
regardless of where they are in the world.
Exactly. You don't have to be physically present in India
Mhm.
to experience the richness of its musical traditions.
Right.
All you need
Is an open mind
an open mind,
and a willingness to listen.
a willingness to listen. That's it.
It's like Guru Sravani Samadar said,
Yeah,
the best classrooms have no walls.
it's true.
And it makes me think about how powerful art can be
Yeah,
in bridging those cultural divides
absolutely.
and fostering empathy.
I agree. When we engage with art from other cultures,
Yeah.
we're opening ourselves up to new perspectives,
Right. New ways of seeing the world.
new ways of seeing the world.
And that's truly an enriching experience.
It is.
Yeah. And, it's really amazing to think about
Yeah.
how something as universal as music
Mm-hmm.
can connect us to something so specific and culturally rich.
Right.
It's like Srabani Academy is creating these sonic bridges between different worlds.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it, sonic bridges.
Like sonic bridges.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder,
Yeah.
what other art forms, right?
Could act as those kinds of doorways
Yeah,
to different cultures.
that's a good question.
We've talked about music,
Yeah.
but what about dance?
Oh, yeah.
What about cuisine?
Oh, cuisine.
Or even storytelling?
Storytelling.
I mean,
yeah.
each of those has its own history,
History.
its own traditions,
Yeah.
unique ways of seeing the world.
Yeah, imagine, learning a traditional Indian dance form.
Right.
Not just the steps, but the stories behind the movements.
Exactly.
The symbolism in the costumes.
The symbolism.
Yeah, all of that.
Think about the flavors,
Oh, the food.
the spices of Indian cuisine.
Yeah.
Each dish is like a reflection of regional influences
It's true.
and cultural heritage.
Even just listening to folk tales.
Oh, cool chaos, yeah.
From another culture. I
Yeah.
mean, that can give you such
Such insights into a culture.